Welcome to Wednesday. It's March 8th, 2023. The State Weather Podcast brought to you by Cowboy State Daily. Check them out at cowboystatedaily.com. Also being brought to you by WYDOT. Well, it's going to continue to be quite cold. Temperatures a good 10 to 20 degrees below normal. According to where you are, it's going to be different, but many areas in the Intermountain West start to average high temperatures this time of year, somewhere from the mid-40s to around 50 degrees or more in some areas. And we're going to be far short of that again today. It's going to be soupy east of the Continental Divide as well. We saw some fog and freezing drizzle in some areas yesterday. We may see that again today, especially early in the day out on the plains. Now, snow chances increase tonight and Thursday as that storm that's in Washington State in the Pacific Northwest will send some moisture and energy towards the northern plains and northern Rockies. Another front comes in Friday and the Saturday morning, bringing more snow, mainly to the mountains. There is that small little break in the weather we showed you yesterday, Sunday into Monday, where Sunday into Monday and Tuesday will be maybe not as cold. There's a little bit of a break in the weather, but then we've got a front on Tuesday, we got a front on Thursday, and we've got another storm system that could be a larger storm system arriving into the Intermountain West next weekend. The overall writing message still is for the mountains and the northern plains to be getting the bulk of the snow. We still don't see much snow for eastern Colorado or southeastern Wyoming or western Kansas, at least at the moment. But the mountains, California, the Great Basin states, and then across the Dakotas into the upper Midwest, those will be the snowiest areas for the next 5 to 7 days. Satellite photo this morning, you see this blue? The blue here is showing cold stratus clouds close to the ground. Some of this is fog, but this is just a very large area here of upslope cloudiness, drizzle, freezing drizzle, fog, and flurries long and east of the divide. So you can see the front range of Colorado here and out into the plains where that low cloudiness soupy pattern continues. And there's the low in the Pacific Northwest. This system right here gets ejected eastward later tonight and into the day tomorrow across the northern plains, that weather maker. And then notice the parent storm is still off the coast of British Columbia. It's just stuck. It's still not going to be moving anywhere. So it's still going to be a weather maker through the next several days. A blocking area of high pressure here and a blocking area of high pressure here is just keeping this system stuck across the west. Now, by Friday morning, the low is all the way into the Great Lakes, headed to New England. So moving through very quickly, but the parent low is still back there. This is the animated precipitation forecast here through the next 48 hours. So you can see the same areas that receive snow this week will be the same areas that get snow out of this next system. So it's going to be the northern plains, the Dakotas, parts of Nebraska that see the best snow. And again, the Pacific Northwest and California picking up the best chances of precipitation. So this basically takes us through Thursday. So this is kind of round one with the snowfall coming on through and the precipitation favoring those northern areas. Now, by Friday night and the Saturday, another low skedaddles right along the Montana-Canadian border here. This will drag a cold front through. This is going to produce another round of snow, mainly up into the mountains with a few snow showers on the plains. And again, the northern areas here will again get more snow out of this system. And this is that secondary pattern of moisture. So this is the next round of precipitation that is Friday through Monday. So you can see along the U.S.-Canadian border, there's going to be more snow. Look at California. The hits just keep coming. More significant snows in the Sierras, rain along the coastal areas. Then you're going to get along the Wasatch Front, the mountains of Colorado and southern Wyoming, Wyoming's northwest mountains, the northern mountains of Idaho, all going to get a good chunk of snow. But notice east of the divide here, this is mainly a downsloping pattern to where you're just not going to get much east of the divide. Now, southeastern Colorado here could see a little bit of an episode late Friday into early Saturday with a little bit of snow down there. And there you can see that. This is the second round of precipitation. So mountains, northern plains. Then this is that little break. Now this is for late Monday afternoon. So Sunday into Monday, and I think lasting into Tuesday, we have a very brief period of high pressure and we're going to see some warmer temperatures. But see this guy here? It's still there. This is just a feeder system. This just spawns more fronts and more storms as long as it's anchored there, and that's what it's going to do next week. But we do have this little Chinook, this little brief event, this little brief warm-up coming our way as we get into Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday and next week, where temperatures, at least for a while, will be a bit more moderate. However, unfortunately, that's not going to last. This is by next Tuesday into Wednesday. Another quick moving low. Notice a pattern here. This looks the same. It's just the same pattern. So we've got a frontal system that's going to be coming in towards the middle of next week. Then by late next week and towards next weekend, this deeper low basically finally breaks off from British Columbia and comes into the west, maybe as a more organized system. This would be like by late next week and next weekend. So we're going to stay in a very busy pattern. If you count the lows across the lower 48 states here, it's basically a parade, a very busy weather pattern. So there's a lot of moving parts. Initially, the next 5 to 7 days, the northern areas west of the divide, and the mountains get the bulk of the precipitation. Front range areas are going to be basically just sitting on the sidelines, at least for now. But I will tell you, eventually, one of these west coast storms will come over the divide and maybe go through the Four Corners region and become a more front range plains storm. That's eventually going to happen. Maybe it's by late next week and next weekend or the one after that, but we do see it coming. In the meantime, this is your 10-day precipitation forecast. So look at how heavy the precipitation continues to be along and west of the divide and into the mountains into the west coast. Snowfall-wise, the northern plains through the Great Lakes in New England, very snowy, and very snowy over all of the Intermountain West in terms of the higher elevations. So snowpack, which continues to stay and hold its own and grow some, will grow some more. The 10-day temperature anomaly still looks colder than normal all across a large part of the U.S. except for the southern plains. So the cold March temperatures are going to continue for a bit longer. Have yourself a good Wednesday. We'll see you tomorrow.